Hi, I'm Shawn Wilson, Secretary for the Department of Transportation and Development, and welcome back to another episode of Transportation Talk from the Secretary's office. I want you to know that we take our jobs very seriously here at the Department, and we also take public information very seriously. Oftentimes in this business, if things go unchecked and unverified, they become a truth, and some of those truths just aren't fact. And I'm here today to talk about one of those. There's a perception, perhaps from outside sources, and some here in Louisiana, actually believe that only 11% of every dollar that we get is spent on infrastructure. And I'm here today to tell you, flat-footed, square-shouldered, that's just not the case. In fact, you will see a slide in a minute that tells you how we spend our transportation dollars. And we're no different than every other state in the nation. All 50 states use the same model for what it does in terms of investing. We spend about $650+ million. It's about 37.3% of our budget. It actually goes out the door on a regular basis to a contractor. That's the private sector. That's jobs. Those are things that we as engineers in this department and as a Department of Transportation, we've developed those plans and have them in a position that they can go forward and do work. Most of that money is federal funds. Out of my $1.7 billion, almost $700 million comes from the federal government. Then there's the portion that we have to pay for, which is operations, maintenance, and safety. That's about another $568 million, and it comes to about 32% of the budget. Believe it or not, the federal government will not pay me for doing 95% of that work, so I have to use state tax dollars to do that. And that's how I pay the over 3,000 people that are out in the district, your uncles, aunts, sisters, and brothers who are working on the roads for DOTD on a regular basis to keep you safe and keep you moving. And then there's another fourth of our budget. It's about 25%. It comes to about $451 million. Those are dollars that are constitutionally mandated, things like the Port Priority Program, statewide flood control, and the Parish Transportation Fund. And guess what? There's a tremendous amount of debt that sits in that category as well that we're going to be paying for the next 20+ years to pay off the debt for the timed program. Those are dollars that it would be completely irresponsible for me to remove from those obligations and go put on another project. And then there's the bureaucracy, the part that people like to talk about. For a $1.7 billion budget, the admin cost here at the Department of Transportation is only 4.4%. That's about $78 million. That's all the money we get. Every dollar we get from capital outlay, TTF, and/or discretionary funds that we've been successful at achieving from the federal level, that's the budget. So I have no other choice but to spend the dollars to match federal funds and/or spend the dollars that we collect to meet our obligations and responsibilities to be good stewards of the infrastructure that you've built. So I'm not sure where the 11% comes from, but in my book, that's close to 70% of our budget is on direct service, on the system, cutting grass, filling potholes, making signals work, putting up new signs, making roads smooth and widening them. That's what we do with our dollars. We pay our bills. We're good stewards like you are for your resources. So I encourage you, study the facts, know the truth. We've been very transparent about what we do. We believe in our audit responsibilities. We believe in our improvement and efficiency responsibilities. But we also believe that when something is just not accurate or misinterpreted, that it's our obligation to help you understand that. So if you hear someone say that today, please tell them that's just not the case. That 11% is actually 70%. We spend over 50% of our budget is from the federal government, and the other half is our responsibility. I look forward to continuing to serve you and communicate with you and hopefully educate you a little bit about transportation and how we fund roads and bridges and all modes of transportation here in the state of Louisiana as our responsibility to you, the citizens, the people we serve. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.